Good evening and welcome to this episode of Game Rich Time Poor. With me, your host, as always, Game Rich.
And me, Timothy Poor. Is that something we used to do? The comedy names for ourselves? Or
Yep.
okay, well, a tradition that is being continued.
This episode we talk about Emily is Away.
Yeah. No. How are you? No.
Emily
That's one.
is Away is a messaging simulator.
Yeah, we are truly on the cutting edge of games journalism, reviewing this 4-year-old
Free to play.
visual novel. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
End of podcast.
Let's see. So it was. Yeah, you played it most recently. Start us off, Playboy.
It was okay. It was a nice little short experience. It didn't really do that much for me. I can kind of see, like, if you were someone who could kind of relate to it, if you're like, oh, that reminds me of all that time I used to spend on MSN or whatever, like that reminds me of that person I knew in high school or college who I had kind of had a thing for, and then we drifted apart. Like, I can see if you could relate to it in that way, it would kind of hit you hard. I had none of that whatsoever, so I was like, yeah, it's all right.
Absolutely. So I think the reviews for have been, quite rave or whatever 4 years ago. And I don't know if it's like a demographic thing or whatever, but yeah, so let's just spoil it entirely. Yeah, so
If you want to play this game, stop listening.
no.
To all our thousands of listeners, just giving them a heads up.
Millions. Yeah, so I had the same exact experience where I was like, everyone's saying like, "Oh, that hit me deep,"
Yeah.
and that was like, is so recognizable. It's like, okay, so what, you're on MSN and you kind of liked someone, but the two of you drifted apart, or what exactly? Like, are these people just, I don't know, are they just melancholy, or?
Yeah, I don't, because if like they're in the end of high school, like 2002, so like they were the same age as me basically. So I appreciate the little cultural references. I immediately picked like 28 Days Later as my avatar. I like the references to all the movies and music and all that. It was kind of weird when it got to 2006. Suddenly, I didn't recognize any of the the avatars, the movie references. Like, really, what did I like? Did I go out of touch that quickly? um, yeah, I like the little touches, like sometimes the three options you were given, and I was like, I don't like any of these options. Like, saying any of these things would feel a bit weird, so I picked one, and so like they would start typing it out, but then it would get deleted, and they'd say something like more.
Yeah, so that was a great touch.
Yeah,
A nice little touch was the kind of typos that would be,
yeah.
you know, corrected. But the great touches were the actual kind of chickening out or something.
Yeah, like just thinking of an example, like typing in "I'm your best friend" and it deleted and it said like "I'm one of your best friends," like that little things like that. That was
So that's like, yeah, that's a good, I don't know what you'd call it, but a good move forward for the genre. I assume I've never played even one other game, even similar, of any type of the genre, assuming it is even a genre.
the I suppose visual novel kind of.
Yeah, I assume visual novel, text adventure.
walking simulator without the walking.
Everyone calls it a visual novel. I think text adventure. It was absolutely text adventure. What happens next? Like choose one, choose two, choose three, and
Yeah,
it's just text. So I've played text, like the old ones as books, like go to page this, go to page that, go to
yeah.
page the other, and
Choose your own adventure. Like,
yeah. So those books I think are called Choose Your Own Adventure, and I think the game equivalent of them are called text adventures.
I thought text adventures they had some kind of like puzzly element. You have to kind of figure out what to do, but just whatever. It's visual text, whatever it is.
No, no. Let us now spend the next
They're about
45
semantics.
minutes splitting this hair. A text adventure is a genre. A subgenre would be puzzle based text adventure. You damn fool.
Like,
Sorry.
what's The Walking Dead? Like, what are The Walking Dead games like?
Yeah, they're kind of adventure y. Who knows?
The text version of The Walking Dead, because why I'm thinking of The Walking Dead as well. They used the specific phrasing like Emily will remember
Yeah, and so
that.
that was obviously, I think, must have been.
That was deliberate. Yeah,
Yeah,
must
it
be.
was probably influenced by it. I liked that there were three choices and not four.
Uh,
Three is my max. I can't handle four. Anything like multiple choice, the orthodoxy in multiple choice in quizzes and everything just appears to be four, and four always feels like one too many. Like I always have to go back to the first one and check again. Whereas three is like left, middle, right. Top, middle, bottom, black, white,
yeah.
gray. You love her, you hate her, or somewhere in between. Don't give me this two in between stuff.
So sometimes I would have. There were a couple of times where like I would have preferred the four options. Like none of the three seemed great. As like I want something that's kind of in between one and two. But
Okay, well, screw you then.
it,
Yeah, maybe there's a
like
yeah, maybe perhaps there's a compromise where at the most, pivotal or some kind of artfully chosen moments where you have like four options. And then I imagine they could go even artier and have some occasions with just two options, and even artier still with just one option.
are like multiple options, but some of them are grayed out because like I don't have the courage to say that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's. Oh, okay. So like you have the XP or something. You haven't leveled up. You didn't make the right choices, so you can actually
your
see what you could have
charisma
said.
staff isn't high enough. Uh,
Your
so
persuasion,
it's like it becomes Mass Effect. Uh,
biotics.
um,
Yeah. So you and Emily hook up in the game.
uh, yeah, I was just doing like a tiny bit of reading about like what possibly could have happened. Like hooking up isn't could potentially not. It did happen for me, obviously. You know, it's me, but it wasn't guaranteed to happen. Like depending on the choices you picked.
Okay, I thought it was largely inevitable no matter what. So maybe that's just the ending, that it's inevitable no matter what that you drift apart. But it's just kind of how you get there or something, is it?
Uh, yeah, it's how you get there. Like apparently, if you're really like a jerk to her, like in the final year, she just won't talk to you at all. Basically,
So then there's no art to that game. That just is a very, you know, that is a interaction simulator then.
yeah, it's going to go where it's going, and maybe you can like tweak tweak it along the way a tiny bit. But yeah, it's
I mean, like that totally makes sense. Like that's what would happen in real life. If you're a jerk to someone, they would. What I think the art in it is that no matter how hard you try, that's like there's a fate, there's a destiny to it or whatever.
Yeah, my favorite example of that was in The Walking Dead season one. Do you remember Doug and Carly?
Remind me.
It's like, well, in episode one, uh, there's like these two characters, and you can choose to save one, and the other is killed in episode one.
Okay.
Like when you get to episode three, the one you've saved is murdered by this other person. But then you find out, like, even if you'd saved the other person, like they would have been murdered at that exact same point in episode three. It's like,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah, I think that in a game like this, you can probably do more. Now I know it's a short game, but with The Walking Dead, like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna pay a
yeah.
voice actor?
I mean, I understand the logistics of it, but that doesn't make it less like
Yeah, that's
immersion breaking.
because I think what was it? Mass Effect. I think by the time like by Mass Effect 3, you could have like lost a character, the Grogan or something, and gone the whole way. And it's like, yeah, he was really great. You missed out on Worf, Star Trek's Worf, Lieutenant Worf. That's what you're missing out on. And you're like, yeah, I really made some bad choices then.
Let me just like replay this whole like 100-hour trilogy.
Saga, yeah. And I actually, I don't know if you did something similar, but I kind of like, I started gaming like for the maximum, like best outcome in terms of the game, like meta gaming, if you like. And so that's what I did in Mass Effect, where I started thinking like, I want the best possible experience here because I'm not going to play this again. And like in this game, I genuinely just kind of got a bit bored in the middle, and
Yeah,
so I was like, screw this, let's go. You know, let's let's see let's see if she'll date me, or like what's just the most salacious of my three choices. What will make this the most interesting, because none of this wishy-washy stuff or this negative stuff, like, that's not very interesting. Like, let's go all in, let's actually see what happens here. and I,
um,
and I was not disappointed.
what you just deliberately chose the most like trollish like.
Not childish, but like pushy towards
Yeah.
this outcome.
It's like, no, I liked when she first mentioned I'm seeing this guy Brad. He's my new boyfriend, and like one of the three options was immediately like he sounds like a total asshole. Break up with him. Like it's like option one, Brad. Who's that? I don't think I've met him. Have I? And like option two, I forget, and then option three was like he is the worst asshole in the world. Break up immediately. But yeah, in these kind of games, like I can never decide like am I supposed to be doing like what I would do, or am I supposed to be doing like what I think the character would do, or am I just supposed to just like gaming it like you say, just picking the most like amusing or
Yeah, or are we supposed to play it three times? Like what? Yeah, like I find it difficult to be really bad in games. This doesn't make me feel good to do that. Even though it's just a game, it just doesn't make me
yeah,
feel good to pretend to be bad. Like, that's not something I want to do secretly, but can't in real life for fear of consequences.
yeah,
But so it makes me feel bad, so I don't do that. And in this game as well, it's like, hey, you and Brad are nice. But then when it was kind of coming to the stuff, I was like, here we go. Let's go down this road. You know.
yeah. Well, it's like this. It's being like blunt, but not. I don't know. It's like I could see myself saying this. So if I was in a bad mood, like I might pick that option. I wouldn't. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was kind of inconsistent between like this is what I would do. This is what is most funny or most amusing.
But all in all, I think a pretty good game. I mean, obviously it was free.
Yeah,
An element of art to it. It's a text-based kind of choicey game that's short. So I was always gonna like this, and I did like it well enough. Didn't hit me
I,
deep or anything like these people are saying, but and I don't. Yeah, go on.
yeah, it was all. I would agree with that. I liked it. I can't say anything stronger than I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say above average. You know, it was above average. Good. I don't know what the average is for this genre, but I don't know if it's an age thing, like because I know I grew up with computer games as well, but I think I grew up mostly with movies and TV, and movies and TV, I just like games just are pale in comparison, you know, to movies and TV in terms of just understanding it. Like I have this, if I watched an episode of something, like I understand every choice the director made. I understand like I could write an analysis of an episode of The Walking Dead or something. But with a game, sometimes I'll read people's um like analyses of a game, and I was like, wow, you got all that from the game, you know? And I just think, is it because I didn't like grow up studying games and really thinking about them deep, whereas I did with TV? That
Yeah, I said maybe just the games that like were around when like we were kids have just didn't have that level of thought put into them.
they just
Like
didn't even warrant it as well. I'm sure they did have thought put into them, but it was in a different way.
the pure fun gameplay
Like
kind of.
I think it was and it was mostly just the very best games, like, you know, Mario's and stuff, where they used iteration and kind of teaching you and all that stuff. But yeah, we really
They didn't.
clearly it's a much newer medium than film, and so it has a lot of ground to make up for.
Um, Agreed.
And on that note, this has been Game Time Poor. Join us next time. What will we play next? Emily is Away 2. I bought it for 19p. I'm drowning in money.
I mean, my when I finished Emily is Away, like my first reaction was not like I must play more of this, but
You have my um, howlongtobeat.com playlist. Did anything pique your fancy? I saw uh, some games.
yeah, I made a little list.
Now,
Let's
your
see.
games, like Deponia, these are really long games, I think. Like, when I say short, I mean like an hour, you know.
Okay.
Like basically one sitting is my idea, but no, go on.
Uh, Oxenfree. How long does that take?
Let's check. Oxenfree.
4 hours? Is that too
That
long?
that's long, man. Is this like a highly rated game, critically acclaimed, or
Um, we could. Uh,
did you ever play The Walking Dead Michonne?
no, I did not.
Did you ever play The Walking Dead the second series?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. We could we could do is what's okay. We could do The Walking Dead Michonne or Death Ray Manta. Missing an interactive thriller.
Um,
Kentucky Route Zero.
I would love to play Kentucky Route Zero. Well, each individual episode of that would only be like
1 hour.
an hour and a half. So
So Kentucky Route Zero Act 1.
deal.
This has been Game Rich Time Poor. Join us next time where we play Kentucky Route Zero Act 1 with me, your host, as always, Game Rich.
And me, Timothy Poor.
Good boo.
Oh, I so I just it was fun to just type randomly and see the response appear. I enjoyed that. It was a nice
Yeah,
again a
that's
nice.
actually there's something to that. So you're actually like what you call that? Ludo narratively connected or something. I'm sure
Um,
there's some fancy name for it. A Ludo connection, game body connection there.
Connection, tactile,
Ludic,
Ludo,
ludic something. Uh,
Ludo, Ludo metaphor connection. But anyway,
uh,
I didn't like it for that reason. I just like just bashing the keyboard.
would it have been better if they had made you type the actual thing?
God no. I liked feeling like a expert typist, like just yeah, type like 100 words a minute.
You would lose a lot actually because you would lose the deletions and
Oh, yeah.
second thoughts type of thing. I played Hack Me and Hack Me 2, and they have you. It's like a hacking simulator, and they make you bash the keyboard while green text. You program. You code, and you're writing a virus, and you just bash on the keyboard, and it
Yeah,
comes up brilliantly. Yeah,
yeah, it feels good.
I
It's a
suppose.
nice little mechanic.
I suppose it's an extension. Like you move your mouse a little, and you're like a sniper with pinpoint precision.
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose.
it makes you feel like a hacker or like socially awkward teenager. Um,
Join us next time.
uh, for game rich, time poor, with me, I have to come up with a list of comedy names, not just say Timothy Poor all the time. I have to come up with
We
like
did.
five or six variations on that.
My oven's beeping. I'm just gonna go get it. We did come. We did, but just on the fly, and we don't need to.